What's up, guys? Today I am continuing to crank through my Red Hat certification, and in today's lesson I'm going to be walking through, I want to call it a collaboration, not a lesson. I'm going to be collaborating through the messages that are displayed before you log into a Linux terminal and after you log into a Linux terminal, which is useful in a production environment to let people know what's maybe going on with the system. So to get started, we're going to edit the files that are used to see what's going on when you first log into the system. You get your login prompt. Let me show you. Let's log out. I'm going to clear this out. And when I log in here, I can display a message here to say, hey, we're going to be patching today at 5 p.m. And then people might be like, well, I need to get this job done. I got to get it done before 5 p.m. Thanks for letting me know. And right now we don't have that message. So let's get logged in and set up what's called the etc issue.file to be able to display that message. Now, I will say that the book doesn't cover these in any great detail. They just kind of tell you about it. Actually, they don't even tell you that the .NET file is used for SSH messages that are displayed when you are logging in via SSH. There's the issue.NET file, but when you log into, say, the console, keyboard and mouse, it's just the issue.file. So there's something to know or think about there. Especially if you have a KVM connected to your Linux machine. So let's get started by doing a VI on etc issue.net. This is our file that's going to display a message when we first log in. And if I do an insert here, you can see that I am changing a read-only file. That means I don't have permission to change this. Well, how do we get permission to change it? We can use elevate our permission and use the sudo command. And a lot of these commands aren't going to be covered in the initial chapters. I have to do some research on the back end to kind of fill in the gaps or use knowledge that I already had, because I have worked on Linux for a little bit of time, 17 years on phone systems that use Linux, so I'm pretty familiar with it. So let's go ahead and elevate sudo vi etc issue.net. Ask me for my password, and now you can see when we do insert we don't get that error message. Let's just go ahead and put in something that we want to display on this first initial login terminal prompt. Hello, welcome to the lab. I love it. Right, quit, bang, after hitting escape. Now if I go ahead and exit out of here, clear the terminal, hit the up arrow twice to log back in, you'll see that it doesn't display the message yet. And here's why. Let's go ahead and get logged back in. There's a few steps that need to take place before that message will be displayed. First, we need to edit with vi and sudo vi etc sshd underscore config file. This file is read by the SSH process, and it's going to tell our system which file to read from when processing the banner message that displayed on initial login. So let's go. I got it. I thought I messed that up for a second with the login, with the password, but I got it. / to search, we're going to look for the word banner. And you can see by default that it is commented out. Something with the pound sign or a hashtag inside of a configuration file means that it is commented out and that the service will not use that or process that particular part of the configuration file. So we'll go ahead and remove that, and what it's looking for is the location of that etc issue.net file. We're telling it where to read that file from, so it will display it on that prompt when we first log in. We'll go ahead and save that file with right quit after hitting escape. And next we do need to restart a service. Again, don't get too hung up if you're in your Linux journey and you're like, I don't know anything about restarting services. I don't know what an sshd config file is. That's okay. The whole point of this video is just to understand that there are two files, the issue.net and the message of the day, which displays after you log in, the MOTD file, that can be edited to display messages on your Linux terminal before and after login. Don't worry about the services. Those will be covered much later in the chapters. I always used to get hung up on that when I was studying, and some people, depending on who the author is, they start putting all this advanced stuff, and I'm like, I don't understand any of this. I've never learned that before, just to realize, oh, they do cover it later in the book. But sometimes you just have to use those more advanced commands and service restarts to be able to show the simpler stuff in the beginning of the book. So we do need to restart a service. We're going to use sudo to do that. System control restart sshd service. All right, and we're done. Now the issue.net file should display a message when we log in. Hey, there it is. Hello, welcome to my lab. So that is how you can display a message when you first log into your Linux environment. Okay, now we know how to warn users or provide messages to users before they log in. What about after? How do we display something after they log into the terminal? This one's a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead, and we know that we need to elevate with sudo vi etc MOTD, and put in our password. There we go. And let's put something that really grabs the eye, like some asterisks at the top of the message here. Star, 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 star. Enter. Hello. Welcome to the Protocol Bill Lab. Please sub. Thanks for watching. And we'll finish it off with some more stars. Star, 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 star. There we go. Nice and quick. Write that file with right quit. And now, and we don't need to restart any services. This is a lot easier than the issue.net file. Now when we log in, we get our initial message that we already set up. And now you can see we also get a message here providing whatever information you want to the users. You can even put in some ASCII art in here if you want to be really clever with it, and get to inform our users via a nice little splash page on initial login. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video. I'm really enjoying making these. It's helping me reinforce this Red Hat learning journey that I'm going on here. I'm going to be cranking through these as fast as possible. I love the motivation in the comments, so if you guys could please like, subscribe, and comment, it means the world to me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.